So stress increases inflammation and inflammation increases stress. They are the same biochemistry. And when they're happening, they keep you locked in that stress response. So first things first, stress hormones drive inflammation. The more you release cortisol, the more you're not going to drive inflammation. Why is that? Inflammation is your body's repair mechanism. So when there's stress, there's going to be damage. There's going to be the need to do repair because that's part of what the stress response does, is it does damage to tissues. How are you going to fix those tissues? You're going to call in the big guns to do repair. What is that? Inflammation. Inflammation is your body's repair mechanism. Good work, body. Do you have inflammation? Oh, looks like you're having to do some repair. Good work. I do not want to turn off inflammation if you need it. However, if it is on, it's because you're needing to do repair. Can we help you not need to do repair in the first place? Yes, please. How does inflammation impact here? Well, inflammation makes your nerves more reactive. That's so you can turn on the stress response sooner, because if we do that, then you'll get out of harm's way sooner. You'll be less likely to die a brutal death at the hands of the saber-toothed tiger, essentially. Yeah. Inflammation sensitizes your brain and your nervous system and your nerves. Now, the other piece too is that inflammation, the longer it goes on, it's going to slow healing and repair, unfortunately. So this is why people will say, okay, but my labs look fine, but I'm really still not feeling great. That's a bit of what is going on here. It's because of this whole scenario. So food, how can this show up? As you get more inflammation, your tolerance to food goes down. So the more inflammation you've got, the harder, or the list of foods you can't tolerate gets longer. Now our goal is to get you to make that list of foods you don't tolerate shorter and shorter over time. So you start to develop food sensitivities. You do an IgG test to see which foods you're allergic or you're sensitive to, and that list keeps getting longer and longer. Or you've got environmental triggers. You are the person that reacts to perfumes. I'm still that person. I don't know if I'll ever not be that person. I hate anything falsely scented. Can't stand it. Yeah. Or if you're the person where Chinooks trigger your migraines, or if you can't handle the overhead fluorescence at work. I had a client where it triggered her migraines. We had to actually work at changing her overhead lighting. That helped. Emotional stress. Yeah, inflammation impacts your emotional resiliency. The more inflammation you've got, the less room you've got for regulating emotions. And the quicker you are to respond to emotions, and the more emotions are going to be a part of your biochemistry of what helps you get through the day. And now you start to rely on the stress response to regulate your energy systems, actually, is a part of what's happening in that scenario, which is mimicking going through a time of famine. Great. Luca, this is too complex. I know. Just to give you an appreciation of just how deeply nuanced all of this has the potential of being, you don't need to remember all of these details. You just have to marvel at how beautifully orchestrated you are with many off-ramps if your body needs it, and mechanisms readjusting and rebalancing, because your body's always working at rebalancing, pal. It is always working at it. And the solutions for today are about, instead of doing this, now we're going to work towards doing this. That's what our solutions will do. So this is where your symptoms are going to start stacking. So the more inflammation you've got, the more you've got issues. The longer you're in inflammation, the more likely you are to get a histamine and a mast cell potential involvement as well. So the longer, this is what I see with clients, and those who have histamine or mast cell issues, they certainly have inflammation as one of the earlier pieces to their picture. But you can't reduce inflammation without addressing histamine and mast cells first. Because if you don't address histamine and mast cell first, you have the potential of locking people into histamine and mast cells. And that's what I don't want. Like, I want to get you out of that and then take you out of inflammation. And unfortunately, stress is one of the things that's, if it's been on for a long time, is one of the fastest ways to activate your mast cells. If you understand that your mast cells are part of your protective detail, Anybody with mast cells is calling in the big guns for help because they need help, but their body is able and capable of doing it. And they are choosing to survive in that moment. I know you also have symptoms, and I know those are uncomfortable, and I really want those diminished for you. How do we do that? We do the solutions outlined in today's class.